Hi everyone, my name is Steph, this is the Novelty Corner, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to the start of the final Buzzword reading vlog for the year. If you are new here, you may not know what the Buzzword is. This is something that Kayla from Books and Lala hosts every year. I've been doing videos for this every month of the year, so this is video 12, and we'll see how I go with it. We know I DNF at least one book. Every time I pick my TBR for this, I DNF one book. But the idea behind the Buzzword reading challenge is to either read a book that has a buzzword in the title or to read a book that has a very prominent visual feature on the front cover. So there are two challenges. I do complete both of them, and then I also try to give some recommendations for other books that would fit the prompt. So the Buzzword title prompt this month is to read a book that has alliteration in the title. So alliteration is when multiple words in the sentence or the title feature the same letter or sound, really. It's more to do with the sound. And for this, I'm planning on reading Winter Wonders by Leighton Greene, which is a queer contemporary romance. I also believe it might be a holiday romance. We'll see. It's set in winter, and I'm assuming it's set in the Northern Hemisphere, so in which case that would equal holiday romance. And then the Buzzword cover challenge is to read a book that has a monochromatic cover, which basically just means the same colour is the heavily featured item. And for this, I'm planning on reading Before the Storm by Rachel Grant, which is actually, I think it's a prequel novella, but it still counts because I have heard some good things about Rachel Grant, but I haven't read anything by Rachel Grant, so I thought something shorter would work for this. That's the plan anyway. I'm not quite sure which book I'm going to start with. I just wanted to film the intro because I am not having the best filming day, but I do want to sit down and read, and I want to try and get the Buzzword reading vlog done this weekend, so bear with me. I probably am not going to be doing very much. I will probably just be reacting to the book and giving you some thoughts. I'm not going to try and film anything because energy levels are not a thing that I have, but hopefully I get some good reads out of this. Like that's the plan, because these are really essentially two new to me authors. I have tried the first chapter of a Leighton Greene book in my most recent try chapter video, but I haven't actually physically read a full book yet. Hi everyone. So yes, I did read the books for this video. I am thoroughly uninspired by what I read, and honestly I just considered scrapping the video, but you know what, let's talk about the books and give some recommendations, and then let's just call this video done, because I don't know what it was. I genuinely don't know what it was. But the vibes were not vibing with reading this weekend. So for the cover challenge to read a book with a monochromatic cover, I read Before the Storm by Rachel Grant, which is a prequel novella to a series, Evidence Under Fire, I believe. And it is setting up the relationship between a Navy SEAL called Xavier and a parks archaeologist called Audrey. And Xavier is planning on utilizing this national parkland where Audrey works as a training ground. And she doesn't know this. She meets him through a mutual friend. They end up having a one-night stand together. He knows that he will eventually need her approval to run the drills on the parkland, but he doesn't tell her that that's what his job is. He does say that his job is classified, and it is. And he technically can't tell her because it needs to go through all the proper channels. So they have the one-night stand. He leaves. She thinks nothing of it. She finds out that she's pregnant, and she's trying to get in contact with him to let him know, and then finds him. He's furious because the application has been denied, and he blames her for it. And that's kind of where it ends, because the next story is going from this hate to love second chance story. Now, I didn't hate this, but I also just was not in the mood for the dramatics of it, which is a little bit frustrating. And then for some books that I would recommend that have monochromatic covers, i.e. covers that use the same color predominantly on the cover. You're going to see some repeated series, etc. I just grabbed what I could find. I'm not going for original here. The first one is Feral Fates by Evie Mitchell. Granted, this is a special edition that is purple on purple. It is a paranormal romance. It is what's the best way to describe this? It's a fated mate story where the female protagonist has to marry the male protagonist in order to protect her people. So they do not start their relationship on good terms, but that doesn't last, because they get to know one another, and it's great. It's Evie Mitchell. I trust her implicitly, especially with paranormal romance, because why not? Then I have Psycho by Onley James, which is the second book in the Necessary Evil series. Technically, I could pull most covers, although there is another book in the series that I'm going to use for the next recommendations, which isn't quite as monochromatic because there is a lot more of the green here. This is a series about, it's a queer dark romance, light kind of romantic suspense-ish series about a group of brothers who have all been adopted into a family and raised by a billionaire They are all classified as psychopaths, but he has tried to raise them and train them to hunt bad guys. And they have their romances. Psycho is one of my favorites in the series. We're following August, who has an eidetic memory, and he falls for an ex-FBI agent who is also a psychic. It's fun. Like, they're just really fun times. Then I have my special edition of Power Plays and Straight A's by Eden, Finley and Saxon James. This is all very blue and white and black, which if we're running the gamut from lightest to darkest, that would fit. And this is a college hockey romance series. It is MM. This one is Foster and Zach's story. And this one very much sets up their shared hockey universe. It's also a brother's best friend romance where one of the characters ends up being asked by his brother to look out for the best friend who is not very sports-minded, and they fall for one another. All right, we're just going to continue with queer sports romances. We have Offside Play by Becca Steele. This is very purple. This one is part of a shared universe series, but you can read it on its own. It is the story of a professional football player and a professional hockey player. It's a fun time. I really enjoyed this. And then I probably recommended this in another video, but what the heck? It's purple. I have a lot of purple books here. Clearly I collect a lot of monochromatic purple books. Archangel's Kiss, which is the second book. I should know this. Yes, second book in the Guild Hunter series. We are following angels who basically rule the world, and there are vampires who are connected to the angels, and then you have people who hunt vampires who go rogue, and that is our female protagonist, except in this book she has accidentally been made into an angel herself, and this is a very, very weird, very, very uncommon occurrence, and it is her understanding the implications of that, plus a bigger world plot that's going on. Alrighty, so then I said I was going to read Winter Wonders for the alliteration prompt, and I reread the first chapter because I've read the first chapter of it before, and I decided that I was not going to continue reading it. I just was not in the mood. I've read a lot of books about characters who get stranded in their cars in the snow and need to be rescued, and I was not in the mood. So I have DNF'd that one, which meant I had to find another one. And so I was digging around through my Kindle and I came up with Rebound Rules, which is a polyamorous MMF steamy romance book, which the more you read it, the plot is actually implausible, and really you should just read it for the steamy scenes because they were fun. And the plot and the concept it was fine, but it just kept making me go, hang on a second, what? Why is this happening? Basically, the premise is our female protagonist in the story is Gemma. She is approached by her fiance's best friend and brother, who let her know that her fiance has left. 2 days before the wedding, he has taken off, said he can't go through with the wedding, and has disappeared. They, the best friend and the brother, are really furious at him. And so they've taken it on themselves to go and let Gemma know they want her, that because they're concerned about her and her well-being. And she is very stoic about the whole thing. And we find out there is very much a discrepancy in terms of financial stability between the two of them. She is CEO of a company and she is very organized and very put together, and her fiance is very flighty and is also very, very financially, not financially secure. Anyway, as they're shocked that she's kind of just very much just goes, okay, that's fine. And then tells them, hey, you two should go on this honeymoon cruise that we booked because someone should go and enjoy it. Anyway, eventually they team up with her best friend and they manage to get another ticket, and they all end up on this cruise ship, the two guys and Gemma. And that was the first thing that threw me out, because at no point when she first wakes up on the ship, because she's gotten drunk on champagne with her best friend and convinced to go on this cruise, but at no point does anyone talk about the fact that there are 3 people staying in the cabin that was originally supposed to be 2 people. So the whole time I'm like, who bought the ticket? It's a stupid thing for me to get hung up on, but I got hung up on it. And essentially she figures at the first port she's going to book a ticket home, and then she doesn't, because the 2 guys eventually admit that they're attracted to one another. One of them is pansexual, the other is bisexual, but hasn't really explored any relationship with guys. She notices their attraction, encourages them to act on it. She is a participant in that she is watching them engage in a relationship. And then eventually they draw her in, and it's basically them stopping at different ports while on this cruise, and then they're a couple by the end of it. Like, you read it for the steamy scenes, but the plot is not really plotting, is probably the best way to say it, which doesn't make it a bad thing. It just, I guess I wanted something more, because I've read poly stories with a lot more plot. Okay, which brings me to more books to recommend with alliteration. And because I've got a bunch of Necessary Evil books out because I've just decided to reread them, we've got Madman. This is book 5 in the series. This one is absolutely bonkers. It follows one of the twins of this set of brothers, and not for the faint of heart. This one features quite a bit of blood play in it, so just be mindful of that. but it is Avi, who is a fashion designer as well as, you know, part-time vigilante, and Felix, who is interning at Avi's fashion house. And these two are snarky as all get out, and I love them. There is Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig, which is the second book in the Shepherd King duology. I need to come back and read the physical copies because these books are beautiful. This is a fantasy romance duology. It has a really unique political and magical system and how people acquire and use magic through the use of these cards, Providence cards. I don't really want to say too much about Two Twisted Crowns because it's the second book, but this one really moves the political plot forward and is excellent. Can't recommend this enough. I'm really glad that I was convinced to read the series. The next book I know I've recommended in another one of these videos, but I'm grasping at straws, guys. I was just pulling off the closest books I could find with alliteration. The Bones Beneath My Skin by TJ Klune. This is a sci-fi queer romance set on Earth with aliens, maybe, and death cults and secret government agencies and people on the run. It's great. My camera battery is about to run out, so I'm trying to do this quickly. There is Of Love and Libraries by Brenna Bailey, which is a sapphic romance with octogenarians. These wonderful women are in their 80s and they are delightful. They are seeing each other again for the first time in decades, and they are teaming up to save the local town library. Delightful. This is my beautiful special edition. And then North is the Night by Emily Rath. This is the first book in... oh God, I can't remember the series name. I don't think it really matters. This is a fantasy romance with Finnish mythology, and it is really interesting. It's kind of the Finnish take on Hades and Persephone, and it has a sapphic longing romance between two best friends, and one of those best friends ends up in hell and has to form a relationship with the ruler of hell, who is a man. And it's for like political stability and survival in this place. And it's really, really interesting. I'm looking forward to when the second book comes out to see how the plot develops and how these relationships develop, because it's very complex and I like that kind of thing. And we're going to call it here on the Buzzword vlogs for this year. December is not the month for me to be doing projects. It's really not. This was a shambles, and I apologize for my chaoticness. But yeah, December is Decembering in truly fine fashion. So I will see you in my next video. I'm sorry this one is such a weird wrap up to the Buzzword vlogs for this year, but you know what? We're here, we're done, and we're just going to keep going till we get to the end of the month, because it's only December 7th and I need December to be over. It's so bad to say that. In the comments, I'd love to know, have you read any of these books? Are you planning on picking them up? Or if you were participating in the Buzzword readathon this month, what were you reading? I clearly need some better recommendations. I don't have the brain capacity to figure that out at the moment. If you want to let me know that you're here but you don't want to leave a comment, feel free to leave an emoji that is your favorite color. Otherwise, I hope that wherever you're on the world, you're staying safe and healthy, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, everyone.